Meet Bob. Bob has been in business since 2010. Bob had a dream. When he started his company, he dreamed of adding employees. He dreamed of growing his company into a real machine. He dreamed of making this company something that could provide for not only his family, but also for the families of his employees. And he dreamed of growing this company into something that would one day become his legacy. But Bob is frustrated. He's frustrated because running his business is turning out to be far more difficult than he had anticipated. After 4 years, his business is not turning out the way he dreamed it would. Instead, he has a pile of bills, he has a lot less money, he has trouble keeping employees, and he's got a fleet of broken down trucks. As Bob was trying to figure out what was going on in his business, he talked to many other contractors who had been doing this for years, but found that many of them weren't in much better shape than he was. He had to figure out a way to get rid of this stack of past due invoices, collect the receivables from his customers, and start running a business that was profitable. Then Bob talked to John, a contractor who seemed to have it all together. John ran a well-run business, and his employees seemed to enjoy coming to work. His trucks always looked great, and he had a great reputation in town. When Bob asked around at the supply houses, he found out that John was also very well respected there. He asked John if he would share his secret. There had to be something different in the way that John was running his company. After all, he never had that stressed-out look that was all too common on Bob's face. John said, "Sure, it's really no big secret. Yeah, it's hard work, but the best thing I ever did for my company was to attend the Planning for Profit workshop with Grandy and Associates." "Before going to the workshop, I was really no different than you," John said. "I'd fight each day and work countless hours only to find myself at the end of the month with no money and a stack of bills. But since going to the Planning for Profit workshop, my business has been totally different. I learned what it really takes to run a profitable business, and that the most important thing is to find out exactly what I need to charge per hour to cover my cost of running my business. I no longer set my prices based on what the competition was doing. I also found out what my break-even rate was. That way, when I was quoting jobs and I had to sharpen my pencil, I knew exactly what my bottom line was. I learned how to create a cash flow budget and what to actually do with it. Now, I watch my numbers on a monthly basis. I also found out why billable hours were so important and why I had to watch them every single day. I'm also planning on replacing my trucks on a regular basis, and I just build the cost of that into my pricing. I'm paying down my debt. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer every day. They also taught me the real importance of maintenance agreements to my business and how to sell them. When it came to my people, I learned how to better communicate with both my employees and my customers in a way that actually increased productivity. I learned how to find the right person for the job instead of just hiring the first warm body that walked in the door, only to have to let them go a few months later. When Bob asked John how he keeps all this stuff straight, he told Bob about the Pricing for Profit software that was included in the workshop. Using this software, he plans for the future. He told Bob how it didn't replace his accounting software, but it's a tool that he uses to plan the next year and start to look at how changes within his company will affect his bottom line, his pricing, and his customers. He shared with Bob that he didn't have the money in his budget at the time to attend a class like this, but he knows now that you can't afford not to. He told Bob that his company is totally different today, and he owes it all to the Planning for Profit workshop. Bob was feeling much better already. There was hope after all. He went back to his office and called Grandy and Associates to register for the next Planning for Profit workshop. He was already looking forward to making that original dream become a reality. Hear what other contractors had to say about how attending the Planning for Profit workshop helped their company grow.
Hi, I'm Kent Crook with Wiremasters Electric.
Hi, I'm Keith Johnson, president of Pool Works in Auburndale, Florida.
For years, I've been looking for a service agreement. I know a service agreement is something that helps your company be worth something. And they had a service agreement there. There was a webinar on. I found out that it took me about a month to get things printed and get the numbers correct. But now I have a service agreement.
It allowed me to determine where my pricing needs to be based on where it currently is. Pointed out a lot of strengths and weaknesses in my financial operation. Showed me a very strong need to increase and manage better inventory control.
Our business, Center Plumbing and Heating, we really look at to last for generations to come.
We went through the process of putting in the pricing systems that they use and how to price everything, how to put in a budget. Yes, I'm 50 years old, 51 actually, and it's the first time in my life my company's ever had a budget. I know what I'm able to spend on what, and what numbers I should really be charging.
Taught me how to sell maintenance agreements and the importance of maintenance agreements and how that plays into the future of my company.
But now that there's a system and I really know it, and now we know how to adjust things up or down as needed, life is going to be good.
It still helps to tweak our company to be better, to be a well-oiled machine.
Finally, after 30 years in business, I can start making some real money and start enjoying, preparing for the sale of the company, passing the company down to somebody else in the next 10 years.
It's been a fantastic experience, and I would recommend it to anyone in the pool business or air conditioning business.
Are you ready to increase your company's profits? Join Bob at the next Planning for Profit workshop by contacting Grandy and Associates today.